Think about the last conversation that did not go the way you wanted. Maybe you froze when you needed to speak up. Maybe you said something and immediately wished you had said it differently. Maybe you walked away from an important discussion feeling misunderstood, dismissed, or completely invisible. Now think about what that cost you: a missed opportunity, a damaged relationship, a moment where your ideas deserved to be heard and were not, because the words did not come out right. Here is the truth that nobody teaches you in school. Communication is not a talent. It is not something you either have or you do not. It is a skill, a learnable, practicable, completely masterable skill. And the people who seem effortlessly confident in every conversation did not arrive that way. They learned, they practiced, they built it. Today, I am giving you the complete blueprint, every principle, every technique, every mindset shift you need to walk into any conversation, any room, any person, any situation with complete confidence. This changes today. Communication is the single most important skill a human being can develop, more important than any technical skill, more valuable than any degree, more impactful on the quality of your life than almost any other variable. Your relationships, personal and professional, are built entirely on your ability to communicate. Your career advancement depends on it. Your ability to lead, to persuade, to connect, to resolve conflict, to inspire, all of it flows through the quality of how you communicate. And yet most people receive almost no formal training in it. We are taught mathematics, history, science. We are almost never taught how to listen, how to speak with clarity and confidence, how to navigate difficult conversations, or how to make people genuinely feel understood. Today we fix that. Let's begin. Before we talk about techniques, we need to establish what confident communication actually is, because most people have a completely wrong definition of it. And that wrong definition is the first thing holding them back. Most people think confident communication means being loud, being dominant, never showing uncertainty, having a quick answer for everything, being the most impressive person in the room. That is not confident communication. That is performance, and people can feel the difference between the two immediately. Genuine, confident communication is something completely different. It is the ability to express what you think, what you feel, and what you need, clearly, honestly, and without apology, while simultaneously creating the space for the other person to do the same. Read that again. Both parts matter equally: expression and space, your voice and their voice, your clarity and their dignity. Confident communicators are not people who dominate conversations. They are people who elevate them, who make everyone in the conversation feel more heard, more understood, and more willing to engage honestly. That is the target. That is what we are building toward. And it starts with the most fundamental shift of all: moving from a self-focused communicator to an other-focused one. Self-focused communicators are always thinking about themselves during a conversation. How do I sound? What do I say next? Do they like me? Am I being impressive enough? This internal noise is the primary reason most people communicate poorly. They are so busy thinking about themselves that they are not actually present with the other person. Other focused communicators have trained themselves to direct their full attention outward. They are genuinely curious about the person they are talking to. They are listening to understand, not listening to respond. And paradoxically, by focusing less on themselves, they come across as dramatically more confident, more engaging, and more memorable. I am going to say something that will feel counterintuitive. The most powerful thing you can do to become a better communicator is to become a better listener. Not a polite listener, not a patient-looking listener, a genuine, active, deeply present listener. And most people, despite believing they are reasonably good listeners, are not doing this. Here is what most people actually do when someone else is talking. They listen to the first few sentences to get the general direction of what is being said. Then their brain begins composing a response. By the time the other person is halfway through their thought, the listener has mentally checked out and is rehearsing what they plan to say next. The result is that the speaker, the person who was talking, feels it. They may not be able to name it exactly, but they feel the subtle withdrawal of genuine attention, and they feel less safe, less valued, and less willing to be truly honest. Active listening, real listening, requires three specific practices. Practice 1. Listen to the complete thought before you begin forming a response. This sounds simple. It is remarkably difficult. Your brain wants to jump ahead. Train it to stay present. The other person's complete thought contains information that the beginning of their thought does not. You cannot respond well to what you have not fully heard. Practice 2. Listen for the emotion beneath the words. Every communication has two layers, the content layer and the emotional layer. The content is what is being said. The emotion is what is being felt. Most miscommunications happen because people respond to the content while completely missing the emotion. When someone says, "I'm fine," in a tone that clearly says they are not, the content and the emotion are telling different stories. Respond to the emotion first. Practice 3. Reflect before you respond. After the other person finishes speaking, take 1 to 2 seconds before you respond. Do not rush to fill silence. That brief pause communicates that you actually heard them, that you are considering what they said rather than simply waiting for your turn to talk. It transforms the quality of the entire conversation. Listening is half the equation. The other half is speaking, and specifically speaking with the kind of clarity that makes people immediately understand not just what you are saying, but why it matters. Most people speak unclearly, not because they are unclear thinkers, but because they have never been taught the structure of effective verbal communication. They begin speaking before they know where they are going. They over-explain. They bury their main point inside too many supporting details, and the person listening loses the thread. Here is the framework I teach for speaking with clarity. I call it the point-reason-example structure, and it works in every context: casual conversation, professional presentation, difficult personal discussion. Step 1. State your point first. Not after context, not after background, not after a long setup. Your main point goes first. This immediately orients the listener. They know what the conversation is about from the first sentence. Their brain is organized and receptive instead of waiting and uncertain. Step 2. Give one clear reason, not 5 reasons. Not every supporting argument you have available. One strong, specific reason that validates your point. More reasons do not make a point stronger. They dilute it. The most persuasive communicators understand that depth beats breadth every time. Step 3. Offer a concrete example. Abstract points float past people's minds. Concrete examples land. They create pictures. They connect the idea to something real and relatable. An example transforms a good point into an unforgettable one. Apply this structure to your next 10 conversations, deliberately, consciously, and you will notice an immediate shift in how people respond to you. They will track with you more easily. They will engage more deeply. They will remember what you said. Research on human communication has consistently found that the words themselves account for a surprisingly small portion of how a message is received. The tone of your voice, your pace, your volume, your pausing, these elements carry an enormous amount of the meaning. And for many people, this is where confidence breaks down. They know what they want to say. They say it in a way that undermines everything they intended. Let me give you the 4 vocal elements of confident communication. Element 1, pace. Nervous communicators speak too fast. Speed is the enemy of impact. When you speak quickly, you signal anxiety to the listener and to your own nervous system. Slow down deliberately. Give your words room to land. The pause between sentences is not dead air, it is power. Element 2, volume. Many people, particularly in situations where they feel less confident, unconsciously lower their volume as if they are apologizing for taking up space. Speak at a volume that requires no effort from the listener. Your voice should reach people comfortably, without strain. A voice that fills the space it is in signals a person who belongs in that space. Element 3, downward inflection. Pay close attention to this one because it makes an enormous difference. Many people end statements with an upward inflection. Their voice rises at the end of a sentence the way it does at the end of a question. This makes every statement sound like a request for approval. Confident speakers end statements with a downward inflection. The voice drops slightly at the end of a sentence, signaling certainty and completion. Element 4. Strategic silence. The most confident communicators in the world are completely comfortable with silence. They do not rush to fill every pause. They do not talk over discomfort. They allow silence to do its work, which is to give ideas time to settle and to signal that what was just said was worth sitting with. Practice these 4 vocal elements deliberately. Record yourself speaking and listen back. Most people are genuinely surprised by the gap between how they sound in their mind and how they sound on a recording. That gap is the first thing to close. Everything we have covered so far applies to ordinary conversations, but the real test of your communication skill, and the area where most people have the greatest room for growth, is difficult conversations. Conflict conversations, feedback conversations, boundary-setting conversations, the conversations where something important is at stake and the emotions on both sides make clarity difficult. Most people handle these conversations in one of 2 ineffective ways. They avoid them, letting important issues build and fester until they explode, or they enter them in a reactive emotional state, saying things they did not intend, escalating instead of resolving, and making the situation worse. Here is the framework for navigating any difficult conversation with both confidence and compassion. Step 1. Regulate before you communicate. Never enter a difficult conversation while you are emotionally activated. When your nervous system is in a stress response, your prefrontal cortex, the part of your brain responsible for clear thinking, empathy, and measured communication, is partially offline. You will say things you do not mean. You will hear things that were not said. Wait until you are genuinely calm, not suppressed, calm. Step 2. Separate the behavior from the person. The most common mistake in difficult conversations is attacking the person rather than addressing the specific behavior or situation. "You are so inconsiderate" closes the conversation. "When this specific thing happened, I felt this specific way" opens it. Stay specific, stay behavioral, stay away from character judgments. Step 3. Lead with curiosity, not accusation. Before you state your perspective, ask a genuine question about theirs. "Help me understand what happened from your side" is not weakness, it is intelligence, because you cannot resolve a conflict without understanding both sides of it, and the person who asks the question controls the tone of the entire conversation. Step 4. State what you need clearly and specifically. Many difficult conversations end without resolution because one or both parties never clearly stated what they actually needed. Do not hint. Do not hope the other person figures it out. Say clearly, "What I need from this conversation is," and then say it, specifically, without apology. Every meaningful goal you have in life requires other people's cooperation, their investment, their belief, their action, which means that persuasion, the ability to communicate ideas in a way that genuinely moves people, is not a manipulative skill. It is a necessary one. And the most important thing to understand about genuine persuasion is this: people are not moved by logic alone. They are moved by how something makes them feel. Logic provides justification for a decision that emotion has already made. This does not mean you manipulate people's emotions. It means you understand them, and you connect your ideas to what people genuinely care about: their values, their needs, their goals, their fears. Here are the 3 principles of persuasive communication. Principle 1. Connect before you convince. Before you present your idea, establish genuine common ground. Find the shared value, the shared goal, the shared concern that you and the person you are talking to both care about. People are persuaded by people they feel understood by. Create understanding first. Persuasion follows naturally. Principle 2. Make it about them. The most common mistake in persuasive communication is framing everything in terms of what you want. "I think we should do this because I believe it will work," is far less persuasive than "based on what you told me you need, here is how this solves your specific problem." People do not buy what you sell. They buy what solves their problem. Frame everything through their perspective. Principle 3. Use stories, not statistics. Data informs. Stories move. When you want someone to genuinely feel the importance of an idea, give them a story, a specific, real, human story that illustrates the point in a way that data never can. The brain is literally wired to respond to narrative. Stories bypass the analytical resistance that data triggers and connect directly to the emotional center where decisions are actually made. Before we close, I need to address the conversation that is always happening alongside your words, the one that most people are conducting unconsciously and ineffectively every single day. Your body language. Research famously suggests that a significant majority of communication is nonverbal. While the exact percentages are debated, what is not debated is this: your posture, your eye contact, your facial expressions, and your physical presence communicate constantly. And when your body language contradicts your words, people believe your body every time. Here are the 4 body language principles of confident communication. Principle 1. Own your physical space. Confident people do not make themselves physically small. They do not hunch, cross their arms, or fold inward as if apologizing for being present. Stand or sit tall. Take up the space you are entitled to. Your physical presence sets the tone before you say a single word. Principle 2. Make genuine eye contact, not a stare, connection. Genuine eye contact communicates presence, honesty, and respect. It tells the person you are talking to that they have your complete attention. In a world of constant distraction, full presence is one of the most powerful gifts you can give another person, and eye contact is its visible expression. Principle 3. Nod with intention. Nodding while someone speaks signals that you are tracking with them, but nod consciously. Slow, deliberate nods that say, "I hear you and I am following." Rapid automatic nodding signals impatience. Intentional nodding signals genuine engagement. Principle 4. Eliminate nervous gestures. Touching your face, fidgeting with objects, shifting your weight repeatedly. These unconscious movements signal anxiety and undermine the confidence your words are trying to project. Become aware of your nervous gestures. You cannot eliminate what you have not noticed. Let me bring the complete blueprint together for you. Confident communication begins with an other-focused mindset, shifting your attention from how you are coming across to genuinely understanding the person in front of you. It is built on active listening, hearing the complete thought, listening for emotion beneath the words, and reflecting before you respond. It is expressed through clear structure, point, reason, example, so that what you say lands with the impact it deserves. It is powered by a confident voice, slower pace, appropriate volume, downward inflection, and the comfort to sit in silence. It is tested in difficult conversations where you regulate first, separate behavior from person, lead with curiosity, and state your needs clearly. It is made powerful through persuasion, connecting before convincing, making it about them, and leading with story. And it is completed by body language that matches and amplifies everything your words are saying. This is not a one-day transformation. It is a daily practice. Every conversation you have from this moment forward is an opportunity to apply one of these principles, not all of them at once, one at a time, deliberately, consistently. And here is what I promise you. 6 months of intentional practice with this blueprint will produce a version of you that walks into any room, any conversation, any relationship, and communicates with a confidence that changes outcomes. Not because you became someone different, but because you finally learned to express who you already are, clearly, powerfully, and without apology. The conversation of your life is waiting. Go have it. Thank you for watching. Share this with someone whose voice deserves to be heard. And leave a comment. Which communication principle are you going to practice first? I will see you in the next one.